But now we have, unfortunately, we have some workspaces that are not that, environments that are not that healthy for us, and they eventually lead to very serious mental health issues.
There's not only a negative impact on you as a person, but then also on the kind of work you're able to produce. I mean, if you're giving people unrealistic and unreasonable work hours to push through something, that quality is gonna be affected at some point.
Siko Solo, nasema Siko Solo, nikitamka hilo jina la Yesu, yu karibu nami, yu karibu nami, yu karibu nami, yu karibu nami, yu karibu nami.
What's up, guys? Welcome to part 2 of Toxic Workspaces. Remember, this is the Siko Solo Podcast with Manolo and
Monari.
Yo. Let's go.
Manolo, can we just talk about, we've talked about, all these indicators that a space yenyewe for real is toxic.
Yeah.
But then I want us to take it a step further because we are trying to make a correlation between a toxic work environment and mental health.
Yes.
So what are some signs that like a toxic space has affected you? When do you know, hey, I'm in the trenches?
I'll just talk from my own point of view.
Okay. It's okay. It's a safe space. It's fine. Tukulete tissue. It's fine. It's okay. Men cry.
I've been employed before, and at that time, I felt like, especially our supervisor had a clique with some, I felt like she had a clique. Okay. Like she had some favorites. She had people who, and that's fine because, we have different, we all choose friends according to, just how we are and personalities we like, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But I felt like she had favored a couple of people. And if that group doesn't like you, she's going to make life hard for you. And anytime she's complaining, you're going to make sure your name is just going to pop up. And so for me, whether I was performing or not, or whether I was delivering results, I just didn't have the motivation because I was like, either way, even if I try, I'll still be in that side of you're not doing your best. You know? And then, I just felt like she there are sometimes she just called this clique and then leave nyinyi remnants bakili huko tu. So we're just there chilling in the house. Our menda, and we're not in the country at that time. So our menda kujibamba, kutravel, kujua around. Sasa ingine mko zenyu tu. And I felt like, okay, it was a bit toxic. And when I tried to talk about it or bring it up, it was shrugged off. And that day I was like, hey guys, there's something that's been eating me up. And I feel like I need to address it. And when I said that, she just, in the meeting, she just moved past it like, okay, that's fine. Next. I was like, hey. So I felt like she shut me up and I could not wait for that contract to end. And for me, so just that feeling of, that zero motivation. Hata nikitry, itafanyika. That for me was a bit, I felt like ilinimaliza sana.
Definitely.
Demoralized me completely.
So I'm hearing you talk about like a feeling of lack of like self-worth and purpose in that
you
in that
feel
environment.
Like you never match up. No matter how hard you try, this person, they've formed a perception in their head about you. And that's it. They look at you and it happens. Like maybe, and it happens so much. I see people who you went into a workplace and maybe even as an intern, you are blessed to have a car by that time. So already ukiingia hapo, wase wanasema, uni spoiled, uni Kilimani kid. So anytime you raise something, they view you through that lens. That ulisomea shule gani? You say you went to maybe an international school, and so you're viewed through that lens. Like uni babi. And I feel like it really kills your psyche, or you feel like you have to work extra hard to be accepted in that place.
So also like a lack of genuine acknowledgement of your work efforts and performance. Okay.
What about you? Have you gone through this? Have you been in a toxic workspace, and how did you feel?
Well, I think I'm lucky to not have been in a space I can call toxic this far. But I have experienced, like in my work experience from campus, I've had moments where there was like a lot of accumulated stress, either that was self-induced or from the environment I was in, and it led to like my sleep patterns changed, my appetite changed, like sikuwa nakula poa, sijisiki kukula, like to feeling like kwani niko na ulcers, you know, like I'm struggling here, or I can't fall asleep at night because the things that are bugging me in my mind are work related, and I have no avenue to express. So I feel like that bottled up feeling and emotion and a lack of avenue to be able to express what I was going through translated to like my feeding patterns and sleep patterns directly affected. And maze kaujalala poa for some time, it starts to show in how you work, it starts to show in your performance, like everything just becomes distorted from that point moving on.
And we've mentioned that mental health is everything to do with, you know, we've said that there's behavioral in that definition. We said there's behavioral, there's cognitive, behavioral, and emotional. So when you change sleeping patterns and all that, definitely then maybe you're going through. We don't advocate for self-diagnosing here. Don't do that here. But definitely, I mean, you feel like there's something wrong, and might be leaning more and more into this side of mental health.
Definitely. I think there was a time in the past where that feeling of stress, it led me to ask myself some very dangerous questions, like is life worth living, you know? Ama tu niishie tu, like I'd wish bad things would happen, you know, like sininge tu accident na this story is over and done with, like I don't need to be here anymore if my work is not fulfilling in that kind of way.
Have you been in a situation where you're the one who's created the toxicity?
Yes. And this is hard for people to admit. Even for me, it was hard to admit then.
Yes.
But then there's something called microaggression. So
tumalize kabisa na hizo
you start flaring up and just snapping at anyone and everyone. Your language is off-putting, like unaboeka tu na wase from the word go. No one has done anything in particular to you, but then your behavior towards people in the work environment, because of issues you face there, completely changes how you respond and how you are around. Perhaps you're a friendly person. Like I know I love joyful spaces, and really? I think I'm a good friend. I would like to genuinely believe that I'm a good friend. But then when that friend. Thank you. When that microaggression kicks in, hey, okay, feisty Monari, okay, moody mo, like what is happening?
Mora, you know, with the spear, the shield, Wakanda, you come in.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
No. Anyway,
but microaggression is real, Maze. There are people who like their demeanor completely changes in the work environment, and then it doesn't help. So it adds on to the issues in the workspace, you know. Then now people start walking on eggshells around you, because at any one point, at any one moment, you'll just snap. You know, your reactions are extreme. You're extremely angry. Your language changes. It becomes borderline. It's first of all, it's pathetic and boring to hang around someone who's microaggressive, passive aggressive, you know, someone who's moody and overly emotional. So it just becomes this never-ending cycle. You're stressed, you're microaggressive. It adds to the stress, it continues. Like that cycle doesn't end.
Yeah, I hear you. And I think, sometimes the more and more I read about and I get knowledge on mental health, I just realize this thing is kweli kabisa. We don't know about it. And we really need to have this conversation, because I realize, because of what you're talking about, because of just having that constant stress, sometimes there's a time I had rashes all over, and when they come up, I know I had rashes coming up all over my skin. And I went to the doctor. He was like, might you be stressed out? And I was like, what does stress have to do with rashes on my skin? I was like, actually, it's very, very it's very, very likely. It's likely that these rashes are because of that. And so that, see, lazima ikuati, I'm feeling low, sometimes it just shows even physically that this, and maybe when you go to a psychiatrist or psychologist, or even sometimes if you just see a general physician who is well equipped, they may link it to that. You're going through a high stress, season of high stress.
There's something that I came across, Manolo, and I would like to read on it. That just talks about this cycle that happens in a toxic work environment. And maybe some of you can attribute some of the things you're seeing in your workspace. So it says that in examining the indirect effects of workplace toxicity on emotional and physical symptoms like insomnia and your overall health affected, the determining mechanism was found to be called negative rumination, or this mentally replaying of an event or disturbing interaction with a coworker long after the workday has ended. So your mind is stuck in an event, a negative event that happened in the workplace. So workplace toxicity leads to adverse effects, in part by stimulating people to ruminate on their negative work experiences, according to these authors that talk about this subject. And negative rumination represents an active cognitive preoccupation with work events, either in an attempt to solve work problems or anticipate future work problems. So what you do is, when you're faced with a work challenge or situation, your mind goes into replaying those events of
Domamu, I'm here to bargain.
The stuff
Marvel
that's
fans.
happening. The stuff that's happening in the workplace over and over and over again. And then you end up making the work environment look like a horrible place. And you predetermine that the next time I'm met with a challenge, this is what is gonna happen. It's just gonna be bad. So what that does is, in your mind, you've created a space or an attitude towards your workspace. You'll never be motivated to show up, to do your tasks well, to perform. You'll be stuck in this negative space, this mind space that's again contributing to that toxicity. I feel like a toxic work environment over time makes people toxic. So then now you guys become the contributors to you are affected, now you become a contributor to the
an affector. I hear you. And that it's just made me think about this toxic workspace where it's just hard, and this is whereby you're working with family. Maybe you're in family business, and it's crazy because you can't get rid of these people. If there's anyone there who's causing toxicity, they're maybe your sister, they maybe your brother. And I happen to work close with family, and I'm it's a blessing. I've come to see it as a blessing. So shout out to my family if you're watching this. But sometimes you have this so first of all, boundaries inaisha, zinapotea. You have to build those walls, because you're like, here at work, I'm not your bro here at work. I'm a service provider, you're my client, or vice versa, or we are colleagues. But then if the toxicity, if you allow it to get in there, and if you allow it to brew up, it goes into your personal relationships, and after work you don't want to see that person.
Definitely. I think I've seen friendships affected.
Yes.
Like friends who work together, and then stuff is happening at the workplace, and then it's unresolved. It just keeps stewing. Pole.
Yes.
And then now it starts damaging the person you saw as your friend.
Yeah. When you come to thinking of what are some of the mental health disorders that can come up from being in a toxic workspace for long,
I think what I've been studying and reading upon, like from different sources, there seems to be a constant narrative that many workspaces that are toxic are contributing to a rise in cases of anxiety and depression. It's leaving people in a worry state or a sad state. So it's affecting how people are emotionally.
Yes.
A toxic work environment is going to demean you. It's like someone is stepping on your toes, right?
Yeah.
Especially a place where there are no communication channels, or there's no feedback mechanism. You have no outlet. It's like you're closed with your issues and you have no outlet to release. So that then translates to you being in a depressive state or feeling anxious. Some sources have also talked about a physical manifestation in the way of gut related issues. So ulcers, gastritis, induced stress leading to chronic headaches, fatigue. Fatigue is physical, not only emotional. Insomnia will affect you physically over time. You will, because your sleep pattern is disrupted. Of course, your overall body health is gonna be affected. You could experience adverse weight loss or weight gain because you're trying to cope with whatever is stressing you out. So there's a wide array of physical and mental symptoms that come about because of just sitting in that space, in that toxic workspace, and not being able to find a place of channeling whatever is happening to you. You're just keeping it within.
I feel like also being in a toxic workplace for long, or the more you stay there, it tends to partner with your addiction. If you're going through any addiction, and then now we have things like alcohol dependency and all these things, because
substance abuse.
Yes, because now that's your relief. That's your outlet.
Definitely.
So you're after work, you're always drinking. After work, there's all that. And so I feel like kuna hiyo.
Definitely. I think there's a lot of things and several cases, stories and examples that people have shared of how like being in a toxic space has affected them. And I think the worst or the saddest case is suicide.
When dying by suicide,
when that accumulated frustration leads you to Maze, I think this is the end for me.
And prayers to anyone who's gone through that, and especially if it's affected you directly, like it's someone who's super close to you. And we've had those stories of guys just going to the top floor, and wow.
Definitely. But then I feel like not all hope is
ongea, piga kikisi, piga ilo umezoea. Najua tumekustress sana ndio ufike hapo,
right?
Piga.
Something that we advocate for here at Siko Solo is that you are not alone.
You're not alone.
So there's things that people can do whenever you feel like this is toxic.
And even on that, on saying you're not alone, please do share. Pale kwa comment section, we want to know, have you been in a toxic work space? What did you do to get out of there? If you're still there, let us know. If you need help, also just reach out, and we'll get to connect you to people who can who you can see and who can help you.
Definitely.
Right? Yeah, comment, ingia pale DMs as well. Yes, let's keep the conversation going. Yeah.
So there's things that people are doing out here to kind of help. And one is address the problem. So reach out to your colleague or supervisor or someone in a managerial position at the workspace and kind of just bring up that issue. That I feel like I am being harassed in this way. I feel like my contract terms do not match what I'm doing. I feel a frustration or I sense a frustration in this area. Help me work through it.
Exactly. I feel like there are places where you can't do that. There are places where it's a bit rigid. And for me, I'm not telling you quit na uende do says kaeni hata na hiyo kazi, but I'm saying if you can't get to a healthy place, then work out an exit plan, an exit strategy. Work it out now. Don't stay there. Uvumilia hapo umevumilia na unaendelea kuumia. For me, I feel like work out a reasonable exit plan.
But then let's just look at life here in Kenya. Here in Nairobi. Not everyone has the liberty to
or luxury to do that.
Or the means to I can just drop this thing and go. But I think find ways to like kind of psychologically detach from that environment. So if it's after work hours, find your support group, your social circles, find ways to relax, to distress. There are people who find gymming as like an option.
Who are you attacking here?
I'm just saying.
No, who are you attacking here? I know of Nini.
Right? There are people who like indulge in like different hobbies to kind of just take your mind out of that problem, out of that
good
environment.
Hobbies, productive hobbies.
Yes, productive hobbies. Ujaenda kuji I don't know, kuji nini.
You started, finish.
So just doing stuff outside the work environment. So then your life is not a two-sided affair. Work, home, work, home, work, home, work, home.
For me, I think also the thing is to challenge ideas, challenge some ideologies that have helped you create the toxicity in your workspace.
Right.
Kama hizo za tutalala tukikufa nini hizo my ideas are we're just on the ground, keep on going. Challenge those ideas, try and see how productive people don't just spend all the time in the office.
Right.
Try and see how some of the best leaders in the world that we have in the world, how they spend a certain amount of time for this and they're out, they're done, they're doing something else. And just challenge those ideas and see si lazima ujiforce kwenda job ataka utaki on a weekend. This is for creatives and mse mwenye you're self-employed. This
Definitely,
is for you. I feel like si lazima ujiforce kuifanya kama hauko kwa hiyo space. You can just take some time and then come back to it. I
also feel like just exercise some understanding of who you are, create boundaries. Like this is a no zone for me, like and communicate those boundaries. I think sometimes we assume people would get sipendangi kupigiwa 9 p.m. kuhusu kazi, but you never communicated that to anyone, or when you say this or address me in this way, I feel disrespected. I feel like you've crossed a line. So communicating those kinds of boundaries in the workspace is necessary. And I feel like just generally exercising some appropriate work behavior. You can't call a place toxic when you're the one who's being disrespectful, when you're the champion of the gossip in the office, when you're outright just being lazy, like you don't do your work on time, you fail to accomplish your tasks in the given time frame or with the given expectations. Then now when it's rush hour, when the deadline is close, unaanza kusema maze I'm being overworked lakini during the day uko hapo Twitter, uko hapo subscribe, click and subscribe to Siko Solo. Okay, do that lakini like you're not using your work time efficiently. Now it comes back to bite you at the end of the day when you feel overwhelmed with whatever it is you're doing.
Exactly. You know, kuna wale wase wenye, especially when there's a new person at work, unamwekelea kazi zako zote because maybe they don't know. And maybe you're doing that because it was done to you as well. So I just feel like, you know, be the difference. You know, break that chain, be the difference. And shout out to organizations and maybe you can list them down. Organizations, you know, that have championed creating a very healthy workspaces for people. Kuna watu wako na sleeping pods kazini, unaambia enda piga dakika 15 urudi. Kuna watu wako na botanical gardens, kuna workspace niliingia wako na ka place ka table tennis. Wako na, yani I mean wame create as much as they can. Room na environment yenye ni friendly. The other day I was with a friend and you know she's not worked at this place for so long, but you know she was so tense. She's like, there's a meeting, I have to do it like right now. Akafungua laptop kidogo, nasikia kwa hiyo call, I mean, you know, kwa tumeka kando yake nasikia wakicheka akiimba, you know. So turns out it's not even a serious work meeting, like report what you've been doing, but it's just a catch up. How are you? Can you finish the lines to this? Like create such things. Mpaka yeye mwenye akafeel man, juu kazi nilipewa asubuhi, then sasa kuna meeting ya kureport. But and I love that. Niliangalia kitu nasema hata mimi in spaces zenye niko, I want to create that for the people around me.
Definitely. There's a big challenge here to people who are in leadership and management. You're the one who sets the tone for culture in your workspace.
I love that word. I love it.
So if you're able to encourage open, honest feedback and communication, if you're constantly reviewing work terms to see whether they're appropriate or reasonable, if you're able to outrightly point out that this is acceptable and this is unacceptable in this workspace, you're setting the tone for what the culture is. Because those things that you tolerate, you're also embracing, right? It goes, no one says or talks about a challenge and you see it as a leader or a manager and you're not able to address those things. They're going to come back and bite you at the end of the day when people start to experience frustrations coming out from those issues.
Exactly. I love that word you've used, culture. I think the more you embed these things into your day-to-day and into your organization, creates a culture whereby now, yani hata ukikuja and you're toxic, I mean ukikam na uko na tendencies kama auto, you're trying to be cliquey, you know, when you come with all these people are just like, we don't do that here. You know, so it will, over time, it will create a very healthy culture. And I've seen it work for me. I'm not telling you things that I've not done myself. You know, I intentionally said that at my workplace, I'll create a space where you can communicate. I'm not, because my first, I mean, just from how we've come up in 844 system and all that. I mean, in school, let me not blame the system, but in school, we've been shown that a leader is, you know, in a way, ni teacher ni punisher, so kushout, ni mtiaji. And so you would never find, you know, we'd even stay away from people who are teachers' pets. Wena mwalimu mko mapeshte sana, tunaku alienate, you know. And so for me, at first, I'll just be open and vulnerable. That's what when starting a business, that's the first thing I had in mind. This is the culture I create, whereby you do something wrong, I tell you there, mbele awase, quick, check you, quick, and we move on. But then I realized it was creating this environment where there's no communication, you know, and where I'm not hearing, I'm not listening to where you are coming from when doing that thing. And so I set out to change that. And you know, I started seeing people in private. You know, if I must tell you something, I just wait till uko solo na tunabonga. And it's created such a healthy space ya communication.
Yeah.
So hizi mpaka watu wanakujanga kujisnitch and I feel like imenisaidia in the long run.
Yeah.
You know, as a leader in that space, imenisaidia sana. There's that communication. Yeah.
Awesome. I think we've had a good discussion today on what toxicity is, what it looks like, and how it affects your mental health.
Yes.
But then also ways you can, ways you can find, or things that you can do to sort of like navigate that issue. I think the very last resort is to leave or to escalate legally, So I think as we wrap up this session, Manolo, could you kind of just give us like your biggest takeaway on this subject of a toxic work environment?
I mean, my biggest takeaway is I matter. You matter, and what you're feeling. Kuna there's that second guessing, that thing you go through. Ama ni mimi tu nakuwa na feel sana hizi vitu. No, they are valid. And so put yourself first. The organization matters, the business matters, your career matters, but put your well-being. At the end of the day, that's the life. That's life. That's what we're calling life. And all these things, career, all these things are there to assist us to live. They're not our lives. They're there to assist us to live.
I love that.
So don't let your work be 90% of what you think about, and then your kids are 5%. I mean, it can't be like that. So, and it starts with you. So my biggest take home is that I matter. Any feeling I feel, I have to investigate, because remember, it's cognitive or stroke psychological, behavioral, and
emotional.
Emotional damage. And emotional. So anything you feel that's attacking, I'm sorry, it's okay. But anything I feel like that, of course, lazima ni investigate. Whoa, take home yako ni gani, assuming unaenda home?
I think my take home is that in a workspace environment, the culture sets the tone for what's acceptable and what's being tolerated. So in spaces where you feel uncomfortable, communicate. I don't think there's anything that cannot be solved.
Yes, and I feel like at the heart of most disagreements is miscommunication. There was a miscommunication here. There was hatukuwa tunaelewana, like where we were all coming from, our perspectives were different. So if you're able to sit through and just kind of communicate what or where the challenge is, then you see a way forward before it becomes something bigger, something more dangerous. That's all from us today here at Siko Solo. Shout out to Blueberry for partnering with us in bringing you these episodes, and we are happy to have you with us. Thank you so much for joining in, and I can't wait for the next one. Definitely. Yes. We'd like you to plug in, so reach us on our social media platform. That's on Instagram at Siko_Solo. Follow us, send us a message, just send us your feedback on how you felt or what you thought about this discussion. So in addition to our Instagram page, make sure to engage with us on Anchor, where we're hosting this podcast. Feel free to share your feedback, your questions, your comments. We'd love to really hear from you, Maze. Let us know. Whatever question you have, feel free to let us know. Remember that Siko Solo is translating to you are not alone. So you can send voice notes on Anchor. Nice. Monari usende kutuma voice note. No, but you can. Niko na swali hapa. Remember, if you're going through any mental health disorder that diagnosed, of course, we are with you, we are for you, and we hope that we want you to be well and to get out of that space. And to win over that, right? And if you're not okay, we urge you to see a therapist, to see a psychologist or a psychiatrist for diagnosis. And then from there, we hope that you start on your journey to being better and being well, getting to that 100%.
Definitely.
You matter, your mental health matters, and let's keep the conversation going. Asante sana for being with us today.
Thank you so much. Kwaherini guys.